Let's see what we got.
Especially in the more casual audience, just mainstream for gaming, it tends to be one of those games where like a casual gamer may buy 2 or 3 games a year, and Call of Duty's probably in there next to a sports game or 2, so I think it would do well on the big screen, at least from the name itself. Does the movie end up being good? That would be the big question mark there, but I think either TV or movie, people would at least tune in one way or the other because they'd be curious since, well, they probably buy the game every year. And guys, with some of the quick news out of the way, let's get into the bigger stuff. Let's start right away with Nintendo and a recent update that they issued for the Switch 1 and the Switch 2. And while you can see this over on their website with the announcement, where it just says general system stability improvements to enhance the user's experience, which they pretty much use constantly if there's no obvious update or any obvious upgrade we can say or features being added. Well, that doesn't necessarily mean things haven't changed behind the scenes. So one example here, Oatmeal Dome, who will typically look into a lot of the back end of these updates and what it could have changed, says that the patch notes list stability as the sole change on Switch 1. The controller handling code and web browser were updated. No info for Switch 2. Maybe there were more backwards compatibility fixes. Well, to go along with that, we can see this over on Universal Nintendo, who seem to be going through different pieces of code and data mining, as I saw this kind of popping up on Twitter X as they were sort of discussing it. And it looks like we have some games that are now backwards compatible with the Switch 1 to the Switch 2, or have had some issues ironed out. So they have the Beat 'em Up Collection, Bright Memory Infinite Gold Edition, Killing Time Resurrected, Melty Blood, and then we have Melty Blood Deluxe Edition, and Artificial Dream in Arcadia. Now, there are still some games that aren't working. I know Nier Automata gets thrown around a lot, which that's a game that, I mean, come on, we just need a Switch 2 version of that game. Like, really, that's one that I think would look and play awesome on the Switch 2 if they showed up with a free update. And even then, just put the game on sale. It would probably sell several 100,000 copies in a week. Like, no problem there. Because the game is that good, but naturally it was kind of hamstrung by the Switch 1. I mean, coming in at 30 FPS for a game like that, let's open that one up a bit there for the Switch 2. There is another update that happened actually last night. That's Super Mario Party Jamboree. Says the update, which is version 2.2.0, adjusts the original game to render at 1080p on Switch 2 if you own the Switch 2 edition, which previously only the Jamboree TV part would have increased resolution. To follow up, they did say that it appears that maybe it was already 1080p in TV mode, and this could be 1080p for handheld too, and that would, I feel like, make more sense, considering that that's the big hang-up we have right now on Switch 1 and Switch 2 backwards compatibility. 720p games in handheld mode for Switch 1, and then you try to expand that to 1080p, really you're stretching the image. Unless the game was already rendering at 1080p, which some games were doing that, so that lines up perfectly, like Hyrule Warriors being one of them, you're going to get a blurrier image in handheld mode. May not be as noticeable, as strange as it is, as noticeable in dock mode, because there are many games that do shoot for 1080p as like the high point, but with dynamic resolution never really gets to that spot, but with the Switch 2 is able to. So we're still in flux right now with backwards compatibility, even what will get updated, as we're just seeing random things pop up. I think like Soma got updated kind of out of nowhere, and it just made like things, it made the resolution higher, and in that case the game just looks significantly better, clearer. So there's still a lot of stuff, again, I would like to see updated, as mentioned, with something like Nier Automata, that's a big one. But now it's just kind of this drip feed and slow rollout of Nintendo still fixing backwards compatibility issues with these general system stability. So, if you ever see any of these general updates happen where they don't really get in depth as to what was fixed, go back and check out some of those backwards compatible problem games, because there is a chance that maybe it's been cleared up with the latest update. Next up, let's talk about Daemon X Machina Titanic Scion. That is coming out September 5th, so here in just a few days. Well, reviews went live yesterday. And there's not necessarily a bunch of reviews, but we do at least have enough to start to see the score populate, which we can see this over on Metacritic, currently coming in at a 7. Now, the most reviewed system right now is the Switch 2, and that's with 12 reviews. So again, They're coming in very slowly, and I think that's just review codes went out late, or so, hard to say. But either way, this is what we have to work with right now. So, take a look at some of the reviews. Loot Level Chill gave it an 85, that's the high end, saying Daemon X Machina Titanic Scion is a fast-paced mech combat game with an impressive world to explore and so many customization options. CG Magazine gave it a 75, saying despite not living up to its full potential on Switch 2, Daemon X Machina is still an incredibly fast-paced and fun action RPG. And then we have Nintendo Life here on the opposite end of the spectrum with a 60, saying Daemon X Machina Titanic Scion is a decent mech game with plenty of depth in its weapons setups and lots of cool loot to discover and its large open world maps. The combat is flexible, it's fast, and it's very awful, plenty of fun. However, performance issues, and they go on to say that it don't sweat it just for the Switch 2 owners, seems to be with other platforms, make for a janky experience in places with mushy controls and limp feedback. It's just not nearly as polished as it could be in this respect. With stutters loading into new areas and low-res textures, a common sight. Apparently, it's also on other systems. The overall feeling here is of a game that needs a few patches and tweaks to get it where it needs to be. And, I mean, you can see it with the demo. So, if you're unaware and you're curious about this, Daemon X Machina Titanic Scion does have a demo across all platforms, and you can see it with the Switch 2. It just wasn't running great. A lot of stutters. The frame rate seemed to be all over the place. The text is really small for some reason. So there are a lot of issues there on the performance side, the optimization side, I guess. And here's hoping they can work that out, because it's unfortunate when, for example, someone's like, oh, this game is really, really fun, I'm having a blast with it, but man, it just does not run well. And that's the version you have these people review, so that's just kind of how it is. They're not going to necessarily go back and update their review 4 or 5 patches in a year later. This is kind of how it is at release, and it's strange that Marvelous would push it out in this condition, other than they want to make it for the holiday season and have it out there with the Switch 2 with its first holiday. Like that, the buying season stuff, I at least understand why they're doing that from their angle, but also I feel like you'd want to get it out there in a better overall condition. So my recommendation, download the demo if you're curious, see what you think of the performance there, and if everything seems fine, I guess go for it when it releases later this week. I guess the nice thing is this is one of those games that will be fully on the cartridge, so at the very least, no game key card here. Next up, let's talk about Capcom and Monster Hunter Wilds and how they view the PS5 as a barrier and the Switch 2 more as an opportunity going forward. Apparently one that caught them off guard. Again, as that kind of happened with the Switch 1 when that came out. But it wasn't just Capcom, it was a bunch of different companies, which, I mean, coming off of the Wii U, you were going to be a bit more conservative about Nintendo's next offering. Still, though, we can see this. This is over on Nikkei, and it is translated over using Google Translate, so here we go. This is with Capcom President Hirohiro Sugimoto. This is about the current and future of Capcom. With the question, you've achieved initial sales of 10 million units. That's for Monster Hunter Wilds, and that's what a lot of this conversation seemed to center around. And they say, you need to build on that, which is... Can we just say that is crazy to be like, wow, you sold 10 million copies in a month. Gotta be more. You gotta build on that. Says, that's correct. However, we also found that the PS5 barrier is unexpectedly large. The console costs about 80,000 yen in Japanese yen. When you factor in the cost of software and monthly subscriptions, it comes out to about 100,000 yen at the time of purchase. This is not an amount that can be easily reached, especially for younger generations. The situation is not limited to Japan, but is similar overseas as well. Our next challenge is to overcome these obstacles and get Monster Hunter Wilds to as many people as possible. Sales will begin in the future, so we are currently formulating a strategy to take advantage of these opportunities to boost sales throughout the year. The Nintendo Switch 2 was released in June 2025 at a price of 49,980 yen, and the response was better than we had expected. While prices varied by country, this reaffirmed the high level of cost consciousness among ordinary consumers. So a lot to take away from here. I joked about the 10 million number. It's like, gotta do more than that. Well, you figure they want to at least match Monster Hunter World, which they still have a bit of a mountain to climb there, as just conservatively is like 21 million. They do count the expansion with that as well as a separate one, but they added in, it's 28 million or so. Basically, they're targeting that. Oh, we're going to get the 28 million because, let's face it, there'll be some kind of expansion, I'm sure, for Monster Hunter Wilds in the future. However, when they bring up the idea of the PS5 being a barrier, they're not really wrong in the sense that the PS5 isn't cheap. So when they talk about that, and then they talk about the Switch 2 in like a different light as being more cost conscious, I think it's important to note that they appear to be referring completely, at least for this, to Japan, like that market. And it makes sense because Monster Hunter is big, it's massive in Japan. You just look at the numbers of Monster Hunter Rise when that came out on the Switch, it's immediately over 1 million units sold in its first week. Whereas with Monster Hunter Wilds, when that came out on the PS5 earlier this year, it immediately got out of the gate to 600,000 copies. It's like, okay, that is quite a bit less. Now there's just less PS5 systems, and with the price increase in general, as has happened throughout the generation, it's not getting easier to sell these things.
Hello.
So Capcom saying, hey, Switch 2 is off to a better start.
So I've tried to make this video a couple of times. And initially it was just going to be a little bit of a stepdad update, and then I was going to talk about a topic that I found really interesting, but I've noticed that I haven't been able to like transition to the topic, the video game topic that I wanted to talk about, because things are not exactly great with my stepdad, and I understand some people are not going to understand why I'm making this video. You know.
Hello.
Oh, he's just looking for sympathy or something like that. But that's not me, dude. Like, I don't care about people's sympathy and stuff like that. Like, I don't need it. You know, a lot of video making for me is for me to just share thoughts on things. And most of the time I just talk about video games because, you know, that's what I share my thoughts on. And I don't like to have an idle mind, but today hasn't exactly been a very easy day for me. So, if you guys are aware or not aware, my stepdad, who, I mean, he had been around since I was like 3 years old, he had a stroke back in April. And I've been updating you guys on some of it. It was mostly a physical related stroke. There was, you know, he was having trouble with speech and stuff like that. He basically just sounded kind of drunk. But, you know, as time went on, he got better. And he was able to do more things. He seemed chipper, this, that, and the other. And he went home. And it was when he went home, he had another stroke. And it was like a mini stroke. So I thought to myself, you know, well, this isn't as bad. He lives in Florida. I live in the Northeast. So it's not, and it's not like, you know, we would see each other every couple of years. We would talk on the phone quite a bit. So it's not exactly like he's down the street or anything from me. And the second stroke, his girlfriend told me, because he's not with my mom. Him and my mom split like 10 years ago or so. His girlfriend told me that it was more mood-based, and he was very agitated. And when she told me that, like, I didn't see it in our conversations or anything like that. I was of the mindset that it's like, oh, well, you know, that's just him. Him and I had many wars when I was younger. Pretty much from when I was like 10 to 18. You know, saying this, that, and the other, you know, throwing stuff. We were both very hothead individuals that, you know, probably needed to take better care of our mental health. So I thought it was just something like that. And in the conversations I had with him, that's what it seemed like to me. But this past weekend, without getting too much into detail, we had a conversation, and it honestly like scared me, because this wasn't who I had known for roughly 37 years. It seemed like a very different individual. Very angry, very accusatory, foul mouth, which, you know, that's rich coming from me. But it just definitely seemed like a very different person. And I was very confused by it. And then the next day we had a conversation, and everything was fine. It was more normal. He was more grounded and stuff like that. But today, we've had a couple really hard conversations. and I don't really know like what I'm supposed to do, and that's what bothers me about the situation. I have been doing a lot of things for him, financially, giving him money so he has money for nurses and stuff. He's very unhappy with his girlfriend and stuff. He's back at home, and his girlfriend has been taking care of him, but like he thinks that like she's against her. Like it's a very big personality change, and it's very hard having these conversations and essentially dealing with someone that you're not really familiar with them. This isn't something that you've ever really done before, and I don't know why I'm making this video, honestly. I guess I do know why. Because I just want people to know that like things happen in life that are outside of your control, and it plays a role on you, like no matter who you are, no matter like what you're going through. Some people have perfect lives where they never have to deal with stuff like this, and I have been extremely blessed to have a life where, a vast majority of my family members, the ones that I've been close to, have been extremely healthy, are still alive and stuff like that, are still living great lives. And to see someone who's always been so strong and has always been like a pillar for you, to almost to where it's almost like talking to a child and them not understanding, them telling you things like, I tell them, like, you need to go back to an assisted living place, and if I need to pay for it, whatever. Yeah, no, I can't do it. I'd rather just be homeless. My girlfriend, she's going to kick me out, and blah, blah, blah. And it's just, that's not the case. But in his mind, that has suffered from this stroke, that is the reality. And it's a very scary thing. And it's something that, like, I don't know, like, what I'm supposed to do. Like, I don't know what I can do. And it's frustrating. It's frustrating for everyone involved, because the next phone call, the next conversation could be the most peaceful thing in the world. It's something that takes a lot of time. And him and I are not very patient people. So I guess, I don't know. I guess I'm making this video because I am going to still be making videos, because I have sponsors that I need to do. There are games coming out that I want to cover, and games that I need to cover. But I just wanted to kind of let you guys know what was going on, because I've been very kind of cryptic about it, just alluding to it a little here and there. And if I don't seem quite as chipper in the upcoming videos, and if you don't see me on podcasts, like, don't worry. I need a little bit of time to figure out some things. I need a little bit of time to sort of navigate around this and try to convince him of what he truly needs, which is to be in a place where there are people that are trained and certified to do these things, to help him to get him better, because I want him to be better. Maybe he's not at 100%, back in the gym lifting weights or helping me move or something like that. But just to a point where, like, everything is good, he's living comfortably, and, the stress of this situation has at least somewhat subsided. So, and, if you're going through something like this, with a family member or a loved one, just know that you're not alone, man. Everyone's got their own things they're going through.
Elite Potato.
And, you just gotta stay strong, man. It's hard. I broke down today, to be perfectly honest with you, on the phone, but yeah. So the content will keep rolling. This is always good for me because it helps take my mind off of things. But I love you guys, man. I'll see you. I'll see you probably tomorrow.
So we talked about this a bit at the end of the last break. Cardi B says that she denied or turned down doing the Super Bowl. Let's take a listen.
The Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Have the thought of doing a halftime show crossed your mind?
Of course, definitely. I feel like what year I got asked to do the Super Bowl. I'm not sure if it was 2019, 2018, and I denied. I feel like soon, if I get to do it, I feel like I'm gonna have more hits. I feel like I'm gonna be more experienced. Hey, I know I'm gonna eat that up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna eat it up.
Would have been a great year for her.
Yeah,
definitely would have been a great
she
year.
Said, what year she said?
She said 2019 first, but she said maybe 2018. I just think it might have been 2019 because that's when Jay-Z started working with her.
I'm sure. And I remember that first year with J-Lo and Shakira, so it probably would have been J-Lo and Carter.
And then Invasion of Privacy was
2018, right?
Mm-hmm. No.
2017. I don't remember.
Either way, if that album was out, there's plenty of hits on that album.
Yeah, she had the records.
I mean, yeah, it had to be. It had to be after Invasion.
It was April 6, 2018 when it dropped.
Yeah, so that was at a high.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
When did Jay-Z start doing the Super Bowl?
Jay-Z started doing the Super Bowl.
Damn, no,
I looked.
There we go. There we go. Okay. Elite Potato. Hell yeah. Elite Potato, you snap. That last match. Elite Potato, you snap.
life Pokemon Gym. Inside, challengers will face off against 3 professional trainers in order to win a chance to play against me, the gym leader. For something this special, I wanted to choose a place known for big things. New York City. I partnered with P448, a luxury Italian shoe store, to bring this event to life. No gym is complete without the friendly man by the front wishing you luck and offering advice.
Yo, champs in the making. Welcome to Wolf's Midtown Gym. Here are water bottles. This is a water type gym. Bring grass and electric types and you have a chance of winning.
People line up outside before the doors even open.
Yeah, it's an awesome event. It's a cool idea. I think it really gets people excited when they see a big line like this. And right in the heart of the city. So this is just great scene, great crowd. Everybody seems excited.
Inside, challengers and spectators alike can take on the challenging gym puzzle of taking a photo in a special commemorative cutout, or they can simply enjoy the ambiance. Every gym has a central type that it uses. Mine is water, and this is the team I use. If you're thinking, hey, Colossal isn't a water type, it is now. My first opponent had a terrifying team, including Dondozo, Tatsugiri, and Meowscarada, 3 abysmal Pokemon to face off against as a water-type gym leader. It's a tough, back-and-forth battle, with Barraskewda taking out Sylveon only to then get KO'd by Dondozo. Pelipper takes out Dondozo thanks to terastallizing to grass, and I'm able to clean up the game with Quaquaval and Tatsugiri. My first challenger defeated. The line outside is getting really long, but our challengers weren't phased.
I was walking by the store and there was a long line outside and it looked really fun and exciting inside, so I had to pop in and see what was going on.
The store is packed with hopeful challengers trying to get a shot at taking me down, while those still outside have the advantage of watching my matches on the big screen, studying my team and trying to find weaknesses to exploit. And my next challenger did exactly that. Maushold and Armarouge, a relatively unassuming lead. Now, leading a fire-type Pokemon into a water gym is ambitious, but hey, my opponent seems young. Guess I'll just have to teach him a lesson. Maushold uses Beat Up into Armarouge, activating its weak armor, boosting its speed, and doubling its special attack with the weakness policy, which, yeah. My first defeat from a worthy challenger. And of course, it's my duty as a gym leader to hand over a badge whenever beaten. I actually have 2 badges. One that everyone gets as a thank you for coming to the event, and this much rarer purple one that I only gave to those who beat me. Challengers also get a free pair of shoes from P448, which normally sell for hundreds of dollars and are extremely high quality. Of course, one defeat does not mean the end of the gym. There's plenty more hopeful challengers still looking to earn their badge.
We got our gym badges, our teal version, and hopefully we'll get a gold one.
I mean, the chance to play a world champion Pokemon player is just like so cool. I'm so excited for the challenge.
It's cool to watch everybody on the screens too and see him battle in real time behind the glass over there.
This is an awesome experience. It's an awesome place. I mean, great job to everyone who organized it. Thank you.
The battle starts and I get to show off how strong Barraskewda is. Terra Water Waterfall KOs Goldango even though the opponent sets up Tailwind. A Dragon comes in and even though both my Pokemon take a ton of damage, I'm able to KO it, putting me in the lead 4-2. I lose both my Pokemon, but not before bringing Breloom down to focus that. It's 2 against 2, but Tatsugiri and Quaquaval can easily clean this one up. There's no time to rest. Another challenger steps right up, but Quaquaval pops off and wins me the game almost entirely on its own. I go yell at my gym trainers to stop letting so many people through, but the competition is fierce, and they simply can't stop all of them. The people are here for a badge, and not even Aaron Zhang himself can stop all of them. As passerbys on the street stop to watch the action, fierce battles still rage on inside the venue. Everyone's giving their all to win against the person sitting across from them. It's not all about the battles, though. Some people are here just to enjoy the event.
Well, especially with this generation, I was super excited because of all the adorable Pokemon. The little guy with the multiple mouses that work together, Maushold. And then there's the banana tree guy that I've been told might not actually be a banana tree, but I hold strong that he is a banana tree. And there's the little baby sushi fish that's so cute. So all of those Pokemon really made me want to especially get into it with this generation.
This challenger might be new to the game, but that didn't mean she wasn't a threat. The battle starts and I find myself staring down Raichu and Kilowattrel. Well, this looks scary, but what's the worst that could happen? Kilowattrel uses Discharge, which does a ton of damage to both my Pokemon and gives Raichu a special attack boost thanks to Lightning Rod. Raichu follows up with a Discharge of its own, killing Kilowattrel and finishing off my remaining Pokemon. My last two Pokemon also fall to this double Discharge combo, and I quickly lose the game. Another badge given to another strong trainer. I go to yell at my gym trainers for not giving me a heads up about this team, but they say I'm not paying them enough to be giving out information, which is fair, I'm not paying them at all. They are working hard, but against such an onslaught of challengers, they just can't hold them all back. Of course, not everyone here is a challenger, or even a stranger. Some of them are my friends.
I came to support Wolf, a good friend of mine, and one of the greatest Pokemon players of all time. Absolutely love the dude, love seeing him succeed like this and seeing all the enthusiasm for him as a creator and as a Pokemon player. And I got to say hi, I gave him a nice hug, we took a picture together, one of the many we had together. And yeah, that's it. I didn't end up battling, I just ended up spectating. It's really cool to see an event like this happen though. You get to see this before you publish anything, right? It took Wolf 26 years to learn how to ride a bike.
Many of the challengers came on their own, but some brought their families with them. Of course, not everyone here is local. People came from all over the area, from Maryland and New Jersey and Pennsylvania. Some people came from even further away.
I'm from Louisiana, flew out this morning, and I could not have asked for a better event. It's been an absolute blast. It was difficult. It was everything I could have asked for. I'm sounding like a broken record, but it is truly a blast to get to fight Wolf and really show the best that I have.
Some challengers actually came bearing gifts. I was given a bag of New York bagels, some of the finest in the world. We're past the halfway point, so I step out of my box to take a chance and talk to everyone. My break was only an hour, and I wanted to make sure I took a picture with everyone who wanted one. And somehow, the very last person in line got to me at exactly 59 minutes. Now that's the world champ difference. Break time is over, and it's back to battling for this gym leader. The next match would be the closest one out of the entire day. I lead Palafin and Colossal, but Palafin gets knocked out after only giving Colossal the Absorb Bulb. Gothitelle falls to Colossal's boosted Terra Blast, but Dragapult lives the Hurricane. Garganacl is sent out, and with Terra Water, it's looking impossible to beat. I KO Dragapult, but Garganacl Salt Cures Quaquaval, putting it on a timer. I try and Heat Wave to KO Abomasnow, but Garganacl has Wide Guard. Abomasnow takes out Colossal, leaving me with only 1 HP Pelipper and red HP Quaquaval against both of my opponent's healthy Pokemon. I make a hard read that Aboma will protect, and I double attack into Garganacl, and it works! Quaquaval faints, but it's a 1 against 1. And against all odds, Pelipper hits the Hurricane and takes the KO, surviving on only 1 HP. The crowd loses their minds.
So I grew up absolutely loving Pokemon, but I kind of fell off it past 10 or 15 years ago. And this seemed like a really awesome way to get back into a Pokemon game, and who would pass up the opportunity to battle a world champion?
Another strong trainer and another defeat for me. But it's okay. I'm almost done with the day, and I still have 1 champion gym badge left. Wait, something feels off. Brendan Zhang, the 2013 Pokemon World Champion. You have got to be kidding me. Why does my last opponent have to be another World Champion? No need to panic. I've got my gym trainers, including Brendan's older brother Aaron. If anyone can stop Brendan, it's gonna be him. Unfortunately for me, well, it's all down to me. The final bastion at the first real-life Pokemon gym. Amoonguss and Rotom stare down my Palafin and Barraskewda. I hit Brendan with a move I've been saving all day. Flip turn to switch Palafin out and set the rain up with Pelipper, and Terra Water Choice Band Waterfall with Barraskewda. It's my strongest attack, and it should KO even if resisted. But Rotom narrowly survives. Barraskewda goes down and Pelipper falls asleep. But now I can go into Quaquaval. Life Orb Brave Bird goes into Amoonguss, but it survives. Quaquaval goes down, but I can still win this. I need a hero. Palafin takes out Amoonguss, and if Pelipper wakes up, it'll even up the score, but it stays asleep. Palafin survives the Thunderbolt, and Brendan sends out Tyranitar. Palafin takes out Rotom, but Pelipper sleeps for 1 final turn. Tyranitar finishes off Pelipper, and I fall in defeat to my final challenger.
Oh man, god damn!
And with that, my real-life Pokemon gym is over, but my plans are only just getting started. I want to say a huge thank you to P448 for letting us use the event here, of course the team at Beast Coast for putting everything together, and everyone who came out to be a part of it. It was so nice meeting everybody. If you like this video, make sure you subscribe and stick around, because I'm hoping to open a real-life Pokemon Elite Four next.
My partner is Snap. I need to go back to that app. Turn the light on. Too much. It's too much. Bro, these niggas is whooping our ass. We lost. We fucking couldn't. We still couldn't win. Oh my god, I'm getting off. I'm getting the fuck off. This is crazy.